Hey y'all, so we are just getting home from work and Emma Grace is snoozing away. She's been with her Mimi and Paul all day and she has run wild as a Bessie. So she's asleep. Curtis and I are outside. We're planting some seeds. So we thought we would just kind of get on here, chit chat a little bit. We've been a little bit quiet this week. We have been so busy. And of course we lost our little quacker girl, our little duck, over the weekend, and so that was a hard time for us. Emma Grace kept her on her hip side every second, packing her like she's a baby, and so we had a hard time with that, and then we've just been busy. The past 2 days, yesterday and the day before, we've gotten about, how many seeds you think?
I'd say at least 2,500 to 3,000.
About 2,500 to 3,000 seeds in our seed starter mix. We do not buy pre-made like seed starter, grower, none of the name brands that we don't buy that. We make our own. I'll list below, like, it's 50%, 25 and 25 of 3 different things. We do not use there's no chemicals or anything like that. And so we just got our stuff going. Hi, Aim. And so I was just going to we get all of our supplies, like our seed starting supplies. So we have these are our bottom watering trays. Every tray gets water from the bottom. We will always do that. It just, once you get it sprouted and you get your seed going and it's ready, it's germinated, and as it starts to grow, yes, it's good to keep the soil moist and ready for it that way. But when you bottom water, it's going to make those roots drive down, and so your plant's going to be strong because its root system is strong from the very beginning. So we have a bottom water tray, and then under that we have our little mesh trays. If you buy, because we plan to sell lots of starter plants this year for people who want to grow their own garden. A big goal of ours with this channel or with our page, because we also do have a YT, I don't know if I can say it out loud, they may ban us here on Facebook, but channel, and it's a little more in depth as far as educational purposes is what we plan for it. But it's just to teach people, like, you can grow your own food. You don't have to have a lot of land. You don't have to have a lot of things. You can grow tomatoes in a bucket. I mean, it's not hard to grow your own food. And if you've been to the grocery store lately, the prices are off the chain, and nobody's got time for that. So here we are. We're going to have lots of starter plants to sell. And if you wanted to buy a whole tray, these are the little trays that they will come in. And we have 2 different sizes. We have a 60 cell tray, which is 60 individual plants. They come in little packs of 6. Oh, I'm trying to show you and you can't see it. Little packs of 6, and there's 10 per tray. We also have a larger tray.
We've been busy, to say the least. Our cabbages are looking great. Stonehead cabbage. What else is the other variety, babe? It was an old time cabbage or something, wasn't it? I forget what they are, but they're supposed to be some of the best. We'll see.
I think we actually we were going to do the 2 different types, but the stonehead was what we only chose the one.
Oh, we only done one
And
variety.
we ended up doing more of the one because it was more, all of the stuff that we read about it grows better in this area and things like that, so we chose just the one.
Zone. That's something else you need to figure is your zone.
Like the zone that you're in, as far as if you look at a map, there's going to be different zones for your area. So these are the smaller ones. They're the 6 with 10 individuals. And then we have this larger tray. A lot of our peppers, we're going to have California Wonder. They're a really good, like, cooking pepper. You know, when you go to the store and you get a green pepper, yellow, red, things like that. We also will have the little sweet snack peppers. Emma Grace loves those. She's recently, the child, we have a hard time getting her to eat. She's very picky. But in the past, week probably, she's really started to like snack on those. So we'll have those. I 100% will be making enough cowboy candied jalapenos this year. I will be canning enough of those to get me until next year. So we have lots of jalapenos coming. And so this is the other tray. I'll put that down. But something else, if you're gonna start your own seeds, that I 100% would recommend, if you don't have your seeds organized and know when you need to get those seeds into your starter mix, it's just going to be a mess from the beginning. So what we did is we knew what we wanted to plant. We knew what we wanted to have more of as far as starter plants to sell, certain tomatoes. We counted last night after we got all of our tomato seeds. We have one more variety, which is actually right here, which is the Brandywine. I'm trying to cover up the name. Brandywine red tomato. We won't actually start it until March the 30th. So what we did, we just sat down at the kitchen table. We knew what seeds we had. We knew what we were planning to do, how many of each, and we went through. We individually bagged them. Of course, some had more. Like this bag has several. All of these will go in the seed starter mix at the same time. So we just grouped everything together by date on when it needed to be planted. I do try to keep it, like if you notice in this bag, I have a couple different Ziploc bags in there. I keep my tomatoes together. I keep my herbs together. Of course, I think we actually had 3 different varieties of cabbage that we had talked about getting, but then we narrowed it down to 2. And then whenever we actually started planting, we went to 1 just because it's a good grower and it's easier to take care of. Sometimes cabbage will get eat up by, it's just not sustainable to grow because the bugs just eat it up so bad. And especially if you're trying to,
they'll destroy it.
If you're trying to do what we are, which is we hope our goal is to can and put back enough potatoes. We bought 100 pounds. It was his idea of starter potatoes. Yukon Gold.
Yukon Gold Trader.
Yukon Gold is what we hope to end up with. They say we wouldn't take this to the bank or anything, but for every 10 pounds of starter potatoes is roughly about 100 pounds of potatoes that they'll produce.
But that's give or take.
Give or take.
Some of them's gonna
not do good, or you'll have to get rid of. They won't have as many eyes on them, and so you just
got to confiscate for that stuff.
Yeah.
Compensate.
And so I know what you mean.
Compensate for that kind of stuff.
And so we'll have potatoes also to sell because there's no way on this green earth that we can put that much up. And we just hope that.
Is anybody watching us?
Yeah. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see real good, but there's lots of names that I'm seeing popping up there.
Oh yeah, everybody.
We were blessed with this farm. It fell into our lap.
Say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
This is our front porch. This is where we're at.
Yeah, it's got dark on us. The sun was setting over there, but it's dark now.
We got the grill going too.
Yeah, Curtis, for over a year now, has been asking for a big green egg. Hold on, I'll turn it around. Which, here it is in all its glory.
We got the fan up there only for smoke purposes
Yeah.
because we're out here.
We have kind of moved our porch and stuff around for all the seed starting stuff. So the grill actually goes in the corner of the porch, but we have seed starter stuff over there. So it's in the middle and the airflow's not good. But anyway, and they're very expensive, thousands of dollars. Oh, thank you, Cece. Melissa said she's proud. But anyway, he found this grill brand new, practically, on Facebook Marketplace in Columbia, and it was less than like $500. It was crazy. Anyway, so here we go. We went and got this grill, and he loves it. We've actually cooked on it every day. But I will say, we have baked bread on the grill.
And biscuits.
And lots of meat, and it's been really good, so I can't fuss about it. But anyway, that was his request that he's wanted for a long time, and I'm trying not to be against it now because I actually love it too.
But it makes bread. You love
that's what I'm
baking bread.
saying. I know it bakes bread, so it's good. But back to the seeds. So we just went through, individually bagged everything on the days that it needs to be sown. We will have all of this is extra stuff of the herbs that we're gonna have. I hope to not buy any from the store this year. I hope. Of course, we'll have oregano. We're gonna have lots of sage and things like that. Dill for sure. We're gonna do, of course, pickles. We have crazy. Let me think.
Crazy eights.
No, stray dates.
Stray dates.
Crazy eights. We were playing cards with him. And there's a pickling cucumber, and there's a few more things that we have with those. And then calamine, I am gonna try to do like some teas and stuff, and so calamine is good for like stomach aches and stuff like that too, and so gonna try to grow some of that. Parsley, basil, cilantro, things like that we'll have. We have a couple different varieties of lettuce. We actually did like an experiment because it's not time for that stuff as far as outside yet, but we have been growing it inside in our little like greenhouse area, and so it's went really good so far, so we're hoping that we can just have that year round. But we're just gonna sow some seeds, and Curtis actually has already so you'll have like a bottom watering tray, and then inside of that tray we always sit our tray down in that, and of course, like I said, it's always watered from the bottom, and then we always spray it down good before we sow our seeds so that you have like the perfect little hole there to put your seed in. And then once they're all sown and they're all in there and they're all together, they get one of these nice little covers, and it will, the tray itself will be taken into our seed starter room, and we have heat mats and lights and all the things in there. It just keeps them warm and toasty, and so we are gonna do that. Once we get all of these sown, we have, I don't even know how many trays at this point in there on the mats and under the lights right now. Like he said, close to 3,000 seeds probably. Of course, Sandra Kay, if you all know her, my sweet little nanny, she's the best thing ever. But she asked me, she said, "You think y'all are doing too much?" And I don't know how to explain it, but the Lord just said that this is what we're supposed to do, and there's been a lot of late nights. It was 1:30 the other morning before we got done with sowing seeds that night for what had to be done that day. And sometimes whenever it's late like that and we have to get up the next morning and be back at work again, like, we think, are we? But I mean, this is just what we're supposed to do. I don't know. This is what we're supposed to do. So hopefully it's all going to work out. I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to. There's really no other option really for us. Like, we know that it's going to be successful, and we just hope that everybody kind of follows along and sees what happens. And we 100% know that there will be lessons that we learn. We have already learned several. Like with our cabbage that we started, we had several hundred that we were ready and we had got them all started, and we forgot to take them off the heat mats once they're sprouted and they're up and they're going and they're so pretty. We forgot to take them off the heat mat one day before we went to work, and they were not so pretty when we got home, like 16, 17 hours later, because we're gone all day. We both work full time. And so we learned.
They get what they call leggy.
Yeah, they were really leggy. They got too hot, and it was a bad time. So all of those went to the chickens, and we started all over. So just stuff like that. I mean, we know it's going to come, but the only way that we would not be successful with this and what we plan to do, and we love this, like truly. When people see us out and we're like, how are you, you know, and how are you liking the farm, and we say we're living the dream, it's because we truly are, like, living the dream. We've wrote down on paper for years, like, what we wanted, and, you know, we knew we wanted land eventually, and we wanted this and we wanted that, and when this place fell in our lap, like, we could not have wrote on paper and it been any closer to what we wanted. And so the only way that this or the dreams that we have for Southern Grace Farm would fail is if we quit, and that's really just not an option. So it's not something that we even think about. Failure is not something that we think about, and I think that your mindset has a lot to do with how your life is, and I know Curtis would say the same thing. And, you know, within our lives, myself and him included, like, everybody has a time and turning point in their life when they're like, you know, we're gonna do this and it's gonna be good, and so we know what we want, and here we are. So we're just gonna sow some seeds, and we thought we'd give a little information and let everybody know what we're doing. We are in the process, hopefully, of partnering with a couple of brands that we use, that we love. One will hopefully be the company that we have bought all of our seeds from again this year.
They're awesome.
They're really good. It's all of every seed so far that we have planted is heirloom. I don't know. We have a couple of hybrid varieties. I don't even know if we'll end up planting those, and that's okay with us if we don't. It's not a big deal to us if we don't. There's no pesticides. It's non-GMO. All of the things that they use, which is also important to us. Of course, everybody's seen the bread making and all the things. And if you want to grow your own food, if I go out here and we plant all these potatoes, and when we harvest those potatoes, we know what we put on them. We know where we got them from. We know what we've used. We know what we've not used. And it's just good to know that it's not harmful to us or to Emma. So we're excited. I'm gonna quit rambling because I could stand here and talk all day. I love a good FaceTime, and so this kind of feels like FaceTime to me. Anyway, here we go. So you already sprayed them all. So once we get our seed mixture, and like I said, we mix our mixture ourselves. We actually use Martin's out of Liberty. It's like Casey County, that area. That's where we get all of our seed starter supplies. That's where all the trays, the domes, the mixture itself. We use a 50-25-25 mixture, and we'll probably actually do a video on that just to show you. The mixture itself, have we got any that's like not
mixed?
Yeah, no, it's right here. So if you are starting your own seeds, just for reference, and I will put our little, I don't want to call it a recipe, but that's kind of what it is, of our mixture. You want it to be very fine. You want it to be fluffy. It needs to have things in it that is going to hold moisture but not keep your dirt sopping wet. You want it to be very airy, because as a seed starts to sprout and grow, if it cannot have the room or not have stuff in its way, if you get a potting soil, and even if you wanted to buy a pre-mixed potting soil, you can always take like a metal, like little like some chicken wire, and put it over your bucket and dump that on top of your, like, dump your dirt out of your bag into your little bucket or container that you're using, and just pick out like all those big like mulch pieces, because if your seed is trying to sprout and grow roots and it goes out so far and it hits those big chunks of mulch or things like that in it, because companies fill their potting soil or their starter mix with other things to make it go farther. So if you kind of screen it and get those bigger chunks out, that would be okay too. But just make sure that it's a good, fine, fluffy start for your plants, which is why we mix it all of ourselves. What do you want to plant first? So then once we get it in here, we do go ahead and put our water in the bottoms of these. We do use warm water when we start, just because, yeah, not hot. It's just like a little bit warmer than room temp. We spray it down. We have this little cheap hand sprayer, and you just make sure that it's saturated. Curtis has already went through and done all this while I was blabbing. He was working. This is the best $1.25 that we have ever bought, actually. We got these little wooden skewers at Dollar Tree, I think, like $1.25. And this is what we use to carve out all of our little seed holes in those. We also use these to like separate out your seeds, because when you start using a seed that is this small, like your fingers are just not an option. So this is a great tool. What do you want to do first, Daddy? These are not ready. They're the 30th. All those other, the tomatoes are good. I'm gonna do chops to go inside. No, let's do these. So we're just gonna plant some seeds and let y'all follow along. I've talked a lot. You got anything to say? So what we like to do is dump some seeds out in our hands. I like to do 6. We're on the porch, so our service is not good. I thought we lost you. I like to do a 6 cell at a time, just so that I don't lose where I'm at. Curtis does a row at a time. It's whatever suits your fancy is what you do. I feel like that's another thing. People want to make gardening hard. It doesn't have to be hard. Now, is it hard work? Yes. Right now, I told Curtis, I said, we've only got a little bit longer of like relaxation before like spring. I have my winter coat and boggin on because it's winter again. It was like 80 the other day, but anyway. And so we're trying to soak up every moment of not having hard work to do, but it's not complicated. If you can drop a seed in the dirt and water it and watch it grow, then you can grow your own food. Emma Grace's cat. If you can't tell, our animals, she has our animals so spoiled that cat climbed up on these little boxes totes we have, and has gotten up on the table outside. We don't let our cats in. And knocked all of those seeds in that tray off.
They was closed.
They were all closed, thank goodness. The only ones, and that's something else. Do not open multiple packages of seeds at one time. You need to open what you're working on and put it where it cannot be spilled, because we also have done that. It's kind of like the chicken feed. We keep our chicken feed in metal trash cans with lids, and I was filling the chicken feed trash cans and missed the trash can one time. That's a mess. Big mess. So if you don't have a bunch of stuff open, then you don't have the option to spill it. We've had a lot of people to ask what all we're gonna have. We've got between 8 and 10 varieties of tomatoes right now. We're down to, we've decided for certain one variety of cabbage. We've got 3 varieties of cucumbers. We do have jalapenos. We'll have a few, like a couple of trays of hot peppers, but we're not going to do a ton just because we don't, like, we use cayenne and stuff, but like super hot peppers we don't use, and so we just don't want to be wasteful and just grow a bunch of stuff that may not be used if for some reason we don't sell all of our starter plants that we're planning to. So not a ton of those. And then we will have, what else?
Onions.
Oh yeah, onions. We've got sweet onions and red onions. We've got lots of herbs. A lot of people are asking about the herbs that we're going to have, and we do have lots. Oregano, cilantro, sage, basil, thyme, several herbs. Several. I don't think we're going to end up setting enough sweet potatoes to be able to sell sweet potatoes, just because that's kind of new to us. We have grown all of these other things over the years, and so it's not new to us to grow these things. We're just going to be growing them in a much larger scale now, so we just don't want to grow something to sell the first time that we're trying to grow it ourselves, and sweet potatoes is one of those things that we haven't done, so we're going to see how that goes this year. So once you get all your seeds dropped in, you just take your little skewer and cover up your little seed. You want it to be in the dirt enough that it can germinate and come up. You cannot mess this up, really. I mean, we've had stuff to have 2 things sprout in the same cell because we got 2 seeds in there, and I mean, that's okay. Mistakes are going to happen in any situation, and that's with gardening too. We are going to be canning a lot of stuff this season. We always try to can quite a bit of stuff, green beans, and we do freezer corn. I use corn. We're gonna have corn, sweet corn, salty corn. We will have some of it too. And so we're gonna be doing freezer corn, and we plan to post videos of all those things. It may be short little clips here on Facebook, and then more educational on other platforms of ours. So if you don't follow us there, go them over. Our videos now, oh yeah,
Domes.
there's the little domes. They are a must. We have tried to use like saran wrap before. That's terrible. They don't stay
Domes.
as warm.
No saran wrap. It's no good.
We tried that. It was an epic fail, and Curtis was like, I'm not doing this. So we bought the domes. I 100% would recommend Martin's. For certain, they're wonderful. They have answered all of our questions here with the farm, and we are going to be getting our high tunnel from them, and a high tunnel is just a big greenhouse. So they will be who that comes from. We've already been and talked to them about the process of that and all the things that is picking up the mess from the kitty cats. All the things that the high tunnel will include, and right now it's kind of, our videos are kind of hit or miss, which is why we wanted to be live today and just kind of chit chat and say hello. And a lot of them are just little snippets of 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there, because to be honest, we're just busy. We're busy. We left the house this morning at, what time did we leave? 6:15, something like that. A little after 6, we left the house, and we got home tonight about 6. So,
We're going 12 hours a day.
yeah, and the minute we got home, of course, Emma Grace is snoozing away because she's give out. And she was asleep before we got out of the driveway at Mimi and Pa's today. And so she's in the house snoozing. She'll wake up and be ready to eat supper. That's what Curtis is. He just checked on the grill. It's almost ready. She'll eat supper and play for a few minutes, and then she'll be ready to go back to bed. So we just try to post when we can. And in this summer, it'll be wild, I'm sure, because there's stuff to be done, and there's going to be a lot of late nights, and any volunteer that would like to bring a hoe and hoe the garden out is welcome to come help keep the weeds out of it, because we will not be spraying and using this. So we know there's compromising within those things, and it's going to be keeping the weeds out ourselves. So that's a big deal. And we're hoping to have maybe not this season, just because everything is so new to us, but by next season, we hope to have our own little mobile farm stand, hopefully. That's in the works. Of course, I work in Albany, and so, and Curtis works in Albany now too. So we're over there. I'm there 4 days a week, and he's over there too. So we will be mobile. Hopefully, we'll be in Burkesville and Albany with starter plants, and then once the season's going, we'll have fresh veggies. I don't know if we'll do like the farmers market per se, but we will be on the move, I'm sure, with our veggies. Something else that we kind of tossed the idea around is maybe like I don't want to call them a grab box, but more of like a pick and choose or something like that, where you would place your order with us, say, on a Friday, and if you wanted 5 tomatoes, 10 cucumbers, a mess of beans, whatever we had to offer that week or that at that time during the order, you could place that order. We would pick those items for you fresh, and you would be able to either pick up the next day or meet for pickup. That's something we've kind of tossed the idea around on doing, which would be good because you could get the items that you need for the week and get them at a decent price. And that's a big deal to us too, is we are gonna try our very best to be as the least cost that we can to continue to do this, but also allow people to afford it. I mean, I went to the grocery store the other day, and they had strawberries. Mind you, it was around a holiday that there's chocolate covered strawberries and things like that, but still, for 12 strawberries, because we counted them in the container, for 12 strawberries was $12.99. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Who wants to do that? Not me. So we're hoping to be at a good price point too. So that's a good thing. So I got all my seeds covered, and so once they're covered, we just always go back over each one. She's still snoozing. Curtis is went to check on Cece. Once we're done, we just make sure they're good and watered. And then a dome gets placed over them like this. And I do not stick sticks, the little stick tags down in these. We label the outside of the tray because our starter trays and the waters, this 60 cell tray will stay together until the plants are either ready to sell or ready to go in the ground. So we just label the outside of the hole here because you cannot get a lid on these and stuff like that very easily with the sticks in there, and it's just a mess. So I'm labeling, I guess I could step back around. I'm just labeling these my tray. Daddy is a man of few words. He's here, hunkered over here in the corner. Neil, every time I see Neil Owsley, he's the kindest soul. He always says, "How is your husband the man of few words?" And that is so true. Like, he doesn't say a whole lot, and that's okay. I mean, I talk enough for the both of us, so he just kind of lets me blab. But when he does talk, I feel like people listen. Did you make your mind? And then we just have our little, we have like an extra little bucket, and for all of like our seeds that we have sown, I keep all of the packages, like once they're empty, I keep them in here, and then I always keep a good marker, all of our little tools we just try to keep together. The more organized that you can be in a process like this, the more organized that you can keep your seeds, just the better. It'll make the process easier for you in the long run. But I guess that's all. We're not going to stay on here and sow all these. How many we got today? About 600 seeds tonight, so we're not going to make you wash all that mess, but we just kind of wanted to say hello, and we had a minute while sis was snoozing, and so we just wanted to say hey. And the what that? It was that jar. I think it's in the, yeah, that's fine. So this is just warm water. It'll go in the bottom of this tray. And then your mesh with your starts going in. And you just keep them warm and water them and watch them grow. So we hope that everyone just follows along, and it sometimes will be chaos, and I am going to apologize ahead of time because we are just normal people, and we're not professionals. By no means. But we hope to have lots of starter plants to sell, and once the season is up and going, lots of veggies to sell. This year we won't have a ton of fruit, just because it is newer to us. Now next year we will have strawberries galore. We've ordered lots, and lots of starts for strawberries for our strawberry patch. So those will be going in this year. We'll tend to them and make them pretty and try to get them to grow, and then next year hopefully have lots and lots of strawberries to sell. But that's it. And we just wanted to say hey, and if you have any questions, please message or comment. We will let us know if you're interested in the seed starter mixture that we make. If you'd like to see a video on that, we've talked about doing that. Sadie Mae, come here. Come here. Sit. Come here. Come here. This is Sadie Mae. She's our Aussie. She's the best thing ever. She'll be 5 in July. So she's older than Emma Grace. She was our baby before, and she makes every step that Grace does. She loves her to pieces. Of course, Emma Grace has got 500 cats around here, I feel like. Our baby goats, for people that have asked about them, they are doing so good. They're growing and they're getting big, and they're jumping and running and climbing the walls. Oh, is Daddy gonna let me look? That's Daddy Mae. Hi, Gigi. Don't make her jump up there. She's full because of him. We all are. Anyway.
He said to me.
It's a literal Z. She loves the farm.
Everybody.
Shake. She loves it. She runs. She tracks down to the pond and checks everything out. And she ran away the other day. Our neighbor called like a mile away, and we were at work, and he was like, I think your dog's here. So we had to go get her that afternoon. She ran away for the first time ever. I almost had a heart attack. But we're just living the dream, really. And
so is Sadie Mae.
so is Sadie Mae. And Emma Grace, you can't tell her nothing, can you?
Nope.
But we hope that y'all have a good night, and you may see us again soon.
Stay tuned.